Pedro Bautista here. See, it's 3 in the morning. I was pretty bored. Thought I'd make a video, uh, a little tutorial kind of thing. And that's what I'm getting into. And I'm a huge advocate of black and white images, and that's what I'd like to go over with you guys today. I'm gonna teach you guys or help you guys to see how how I can make these images pop in black and white. You can see Lightroom 4. Uh, I'm just go through some basic things, some things to help. Um, so you guys can see what I do to make my images pop, and hopefully in return, you guys do it and it'll make your images a bit better while when editing in black and white. So first of all, let me just I'm gonna show you guys with this image. Let me just where is it at? Create a virtual copy. And just because I had already edited in black and white, so unless I'm gonna undo that. Okay, yeah. So we're at the beginning, right? My bad. I'm just okay. Set. So black and white. How to make things pop. This setting that we were in, it was pretty well lit. In the background, as you can see, right, this area back here, it's pretty blown out by the light, and that's I like that. Simple pose, simple, everything's cool, everything's good. As usual, as I usually do, camera standard, just because that's what I shot it with, and that's what I'm used to seeing. Turn on the camera profile, and let's get into it. So first things first, you got two options. You can either go into the black and white button, right? Simple. Or my bad, or you can turn your saturation all the way down. Either way, it doesn't matter. I sometimes prefer to do black and white button just because that's the way I work. So we're gonna do that, right? We're gonna come up here. Exposure is pretty right. Check the exposure. It's okay. Touch it up a hair. Another thing that I love to do, right? Bump up the contrast. Now sometimes bumping that up all the way won't actually, won't help. So you can try that. Go up to 100. If it works, it works. In this case, it sort of works. I'm just gonna bring it down a tiny here, just because we don't want to, we want to keep things clean. Okay, just clean that up a bit. As you can see, there's some highlights interface. Go up on here, right? So this is all blown out. It's okay. So we're gonna come down here, bring down highlights just a hair, just so we keep some information in there. Bring up my shadows a bit, just because there's some of these areas around here, right? Want to bring that detail back into the image, and then in response to bringing up the shadows, I'm gonna bring my blacks down, just to bring that back. All right, not too much. Just let me check my clippings and just a tiny bit more. Okay, that's good. Next, clarity, just to bring my midtones into the picture. That's what clarity does. I don't want to bring too much in. You can see by bringing it up to 100, it's going to bring too much of those midtones. Not the most pleasing image, but then you don't want to go the opposite way. It makes everything soft and not so pleasing once again. So here we're at 0. I'm going to bring it up just a bit, not too much. Where am I at? And that's good. +7 is alright. So let me get my before and after, just so you guys can see the difference. Let's expose just the hair, contrast just the hair. Now you see how this image is pretty warm. All right, there's oranges in there. There's not too many blues. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring down our temperature. You can see how things change when I go on to opposite ends. And I'm gonna want to warm it up just a bit, just to bring some of the details. As you can see, really nice tan on her skin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring some of those colors back in, just to bring that detail in there. And it's simple. Leave that there. I normally mess around with the colors, the black and white colors, but doesn't really need much of it today. What I love to do in black and white images, not many people know this, but uh, I like to bring in, the shadows, right? I like to split tone them. I like to make them bluish, not too blue, not too strong either. It's good, just, saturation at about there. Just to bring in some silvery tones. You don't have to do this. It's just my preferred way of editing. Sometimes in black and white, I like to think that it helps me out. So, sharpening, mask this just so I can get my corners in. I don't want to get the everything else in there. Shortening in, and that's it. This is one of the images I'm going to show you guys with. But you saw it was pretty simple, right? Just bring up your contrast. That's one of the biggest things. Is your contrast. That's really what's gonna make your black and whites pop. Next, your blacks and your highlights, right? Once you learn to balance your highlights up, your blacks down. Once you learn how to balance that perfectly, you're gonna get some great black and white image results. And that's pretty much it for this image. Now I'm gonna come back out. Gonna show you guys with another image. I'm gonna show you guys, instead of a semi-controlled semi-controlled ambience location. I'm gonna come into here and let's see what image I can edit. That's already been in black and white. I don't want to go back and edit something that wasn't already in black and white. So actually, I think I know which one I'm gonna use. This one's actually one of my favorite images that I edited in this particular library of images. So this is what I'm gonna be editing. All right, so come back out. Where's it at? Come to the import. Right, that's the original image. Come again, create a virtual copy again, just so we can edit it. Come again. Okay, we're in. There you go. Copy. Yeah, this is the one that I want, right? Just to make sure that I don't mess anything up. Yeah. Okay, so once again, this is already a black and white image. I'm gonna just come back in here and do something to it, right? As you can tell, once again, you have this super blown out highlight area. No type of data there. It's all white. It's all blown out. Now, this image, it's taken with a really wide angle lens, super wide angle lens, the Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter. So you can see the distortion, especially coming down this area, these corners. But came to me to do this black and white just because I thought of it as quite of an intense moment, and so I did that. Once again, typical things. Come here, do that, and then profile corrections. And you see they didn't pick it up. I'm gonna go to the Kina 11 to 16. That's good. Once again, saturation or black and white. But like I did last time, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the black and white. And you can see that when it was in color mode, right? I think that's why I chose this image. When it was in color, it looks to be properly exposed. That you could fix something, by bumping up the shadows, and it's an easy fix. But when you go to black and white, the colors, they seem to darken a bit, especially the oranges. So I think that's why I chose this image, just to help you guys understand what you can do to bring the data in these certain little parts back into the final image, and to give you something nice to work with. once again, this image, as you can see, it's pretty not too warm, not the warmest picture, but it's not the coldest either. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, like I did in the last image, all right, go up, go down, um, bring it. No, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring it down just a bit, cool it down, just to bring some of this into it. There's some blues in here, so I'm gonna bring that back up. First things first, I want to get my oranges back in. As you can see, they're not exactly the brightest things, the most detailed things in the image, and that's sort of what I want to get back into the image. So I'm gonna bring that back up. Uh, the only way I'm gonna do it is by sliding this up. What else? Reds. Same thing, just for that in the image. Now, in accordance to that, I'm also gonna bump up my exposure a bit, just because it sort of needs it. Right, and that's good. Once again, contrast. Key thing in making those black and white images pop is contrast. You don't always have to put a lot of contrast. You don't have to bump your contrast in an image all the way up to 100. On some images it works, on some images it doesn't. In this image, for instance, it's not the best, right? It's blown out. That's really it. You lose a lot of this data here. Your black's gonna be black, and that's not always the best. So we're gonna come back down at A here. 54 looks about right. Leave it there. Now to compensate for that, that pop, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my black levels down. That's it. So you're getting that that punchy contrast level without having a punchy contrast all the way up, without having to imbalance things. So I'm compensating my lack of contrast with black levels. Same thing as the last one. You see how when you pump your clarity up, it brings in certain details. Like this area you saw changed a lot. Um, I'm not gonna do too much, just enough to bring back some of the things. Um, Shadows, right? Same thing. These little areas here, right? These little areas like under them or just them in general, that's gonna be brought up back up a lot, as you can see. I don't want to do too much because then it just looks weird. So I'm gonna bump it up just enough to bring back enough of what I want. Um, White, I don't want to bring up too much. Actually, I think I want to bring them down a tiny hair. Uh, Highlights bring up. It's pretty punchy. It's there, but still you got these blown out areas that's just white, especially up here. So something that I also like to do is vignetting, post vignetting, right? Now you see how much detail it brings in, especially in this corner. It also adds a quote unquote dramatic effect. It can help your image. It can break your image too. So you don't want to go too crazy on it, right? So put in a bit of vignetting in there. Um, what else can I do? Actually, I'm gonna come in here into my brush tool. I'm gonna burn a bit of this area up here just to bring back in and match things out. So actually, I'm gonna bump up my exposure just a tiny bit, just so I can compensate for what I'm about to do here. Bring on my feathering. Show selected overlay, just so you can see what you're painting over. And you don't mess up on what it is. So I'm gonna paint over this a bit in this area here. Yeah. Actually, I'm coming down here. Some of this. And yeah, it's a bit balanced out. But actually, what I'm about to do is that erase. I'm gonna erase this area here that I darkened, just because it doesn't look right there. Yeah, and I'm gonna continue painting over it and just trying to get back as much as I can. Alright, you can see the image coming back. I'm just gonna paint the floor. I'm gonna try to not paint them. Just enough to make the image look even. And yeah, that works. Just paint over again just to make sure. Cause that, so once again, you don't have to go with 100% contrast like I did in the last image. In the last image, it just happened to have worked. This image didn't, so you have to learn to compensate for these things. As you can see, I brought my highlights up instead of down like the last image. I brought my blacks down like usual. My shadows I bumped up again just to bring back um, some of that detail in their faces. Once again, I mess around with the colors in this one, the oranges especially, to bring back their faces so you can see them, so you can recognize these kinds of things. I think I'm gonna do the blue shadows again. Once again, just to add that little silvery tone. It's not the most noticeable thing, but you know, it'll be there when once you look into it. Sharpening, nothing much. Oops, wrong way. Okay. Yeah. So comparing this to the previous, right? So where it's at. Okay, so you have this. Compare those two. Okay, so this is the one that I just edited. This one right here, and then this is the one before. Now, as you can see, the one that I previously edited, it's a lot darker. Is it something that I wanted? Sure. It was in this, it was in the moment. That's the way I felt like editing in the moment, and this is the way I felt like editing now. I can say that I'm more pleased, with the more recent edit. There's a lot more highlights in there. It's punchy, it's contrasty, there's highlights and darks, and it mixes well. And that's something that I like to see in black and white images. I'll maybe go into more in depth in a different video with different image. But this is the basic black and white that I would do. This is what I would do with black and white images. Like I said, I'm a big fan of black and white. I try to edit in black and white as much as I can. And yeah, hopefully you pick something up. If you did, let me know. If there's something I can, some other tips you'd like to know, put them in a comment or message me on my Facebook page, and I'll gladly make a video for you. Because there's someone out there that might not know. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Check out my Facebook photography page. I'm doing a bit more video now, but I'm gonna see if I can start getting into photography a bit more again. And yeah, peace, guys.